Hiya, I'm Lily, and today I'm really excited to introduce you to the Rare Earth Bottom of the Garden collection. Now within this collection there's actually 4 A4 sets of stamps, and now they are available to buy on crafting.co.uk. You can see the details on the side of your screen, so definitely check them out because it's a fantastic collection. It's really fun, something a little bit different, but I just want to take you through the collection today. Now I've only got 2 of the stamp sets here because I really want to focus on these 2 sets, but don't forget there are 4 A4 stamp sets within this collection, so it is a large collection, lots you can do with it, and I'm just going to really just scratch the surface with that today, so there's lots more you can do. So first of all I want to take you through this set, and now as you can see we've got gorgeous images like the tree house, the tent, the little teepee on there. This collection is very much centred around nostalgia and childhood memories. It evokes very much those memories of playing outside as a child, the games you used to play, perhaps the rhymes you used to say, the songs you used to sing. So it's really, really nice as it evokes a lot of memories. I know it personally did for me, and I think the same will be for you at home as well. So I think it would be perfect to send as cards to children because it's got that sort of childlike feel to it, but it would also make brilliant scrapbook pages. Perhaps you have photos of your children when they were younger, playing outside, making mud pies, all those sorts of things that children do when they're playing outside. It'd be brilliant to embellish those scrapbook pages with these stamps. So again, like many of our Rare Earth collections, it's not just about card making, it's about crafting in general. It's about taking these stamps and using them however you see fit, whatever your style of crafting or crafting preference is. There's something for everybody with Rare Earth, and the same goes for this collection. So thinking about the great outdoors, we've got these lovely little leaf stamps, and these are brilliant for building up your backgrounds, your borders, perhaps creating frames with them. We've got lots of brilliant sentiments as well, and there's something a little bit different. They are perfect for this collection. We've not just added in a happy birthday or a thinking of you or on your special day. The sentiments have been really well thought through, that they tie in fantastically well with this collection. So we've got things like sunshine, fun and friends, sweet girl, sweet boy, again brilliant for a scrapbook page, camping out. And we've got longer sentiments as well, sort of almost like little poems, little rhymes. Brilliant for building up really fun, nostalgic projects. And lots of different sizes of stamps within the set. So you've got things for your focal elements like your tree house. You've got things for building up your backgrounds like your leaves, and then you've got your finishing touches, so your sentiments. So the whole project is taken care of. You're not going to have to go looking in your stash for other stamps, other bits and bobs. Of course you can bring in other elements of your collection, of your crafty stash into these cards, but if you are a newbie, you're new to crafting, you've not got a lot of different things to be working with, it's all contained within this set. You don't have to go hunting for other stamps if you don't want to. So that's that set. I've also got here the backgrounds. Now these are fantastic. There's so much you can do with these backgrounds, and as I say, it's all about building up your card, and these backgrounds really help with that. So we've got 4 different backgrounds within the collection, and some of them will repeat stamp as well. So if you do have a larger piece of cardstock, no need to worry. You can tile them, repeat side to side, top and bottom, and you can get that seamless finish. So if you are working on scrapbook pages, absolutely fantastic. It's got the lovely leaves. Got this, could be water, could be mud if you like, or it can just be an abstract pattern. So it's totally up to you. Whatever you see that background as, just go with it and create your projects accordingly. But again, it can just be a texture. It doesn't have to be something specific if you don't want it to be. The wood grain is absolutely fantastic as well. You've got lots and lots of detail in there. Really fantastic. Could stamp that onto craft card. That would look lovely. Even colour it in yourself. Maybe get your inks out, your Ink Lily alcohol pens. Lots you can do with that, and it's just a fantastic stamp to have within your collection to work with anything else. Just works with everything, which is what we want really. We want that versatility and that craftability, and we always get that with Rare Earth. There's so much thought that goes into these collections so that you can get the most from these stamps, and we bring them to you at a fantastic price as well, which is even better. We've got this lovely silhouette branch, so perhaps you want to build up an inky background, maybe using your Rare Earth Reactions ink pads or blending ink pads, creating a nice inky sort of atmospheric background. maybe a sunset, maybe a daytime scene, and stamping this lovely branch over the top using a crisp black ink pad will give you a really striking card. Perhaps you want to stamp it several times and create a very full background. You can absolutely do that. So that's just 2 of this A4 stamp sets within this collection. Don't forget there are 4 A4 stamp sets within this collection that you will find on crafting.co.uk, so do check them out. But I just want to focus on these 2 to show you today, but there is lots more. There's lots more sentiments as well, lots more images within the collection that will all mix and match beautifully. I just want to show you a really easy way to pop a quick card together. So I'm just going to open up my stamps and I'm going to use this lovely leaf background stamp. So as I mentioned earlier, these are clear stamps. They will cling to an acrylic block or any stamping platform. I am going to be using my fantastic Rare Earth Load and Fold today just because I love it and it's brilliant and it works. That's the point, it works, and that's what we want as crafters. We don't want to use something that doesn't work quite right. Don't want to be messing around with something that's not exactly right. It works, it stamps out perfectly. If you do struggle with your stamping, perhaps because of dexterity, or you just find it difficult to get a crisp impression every time, your Load and Fold will make it so easy for you. I'm also going to be using an acrylic block because you can switch between the 2. It's not a choice of you can only ever use an acrylic block or you can only ever use a Load and Fold. You can definitely switch between the 2. So what I've done is I've taken 4 squares of white cardstock. These are all 2 inches square. So I've cut them all to exactly the same size. And that's just smooth white cardstock. I'm going to take this sentiment. It says, splash in puddles, make mud pies, build a den, climb a tree, dig in the dirt. How fun is that? It's just fantastic. Makes really fun cards. I'm taking a black memento ink pad and I'm just inking up my stamp. Now something I always recommend, especially when your stamps are new, get a piece of scrap cardstock and just test stamp it out. So you can see it stamps beautifully. It's always a good idea just to test stamp it, just to get an idea for the stamp itself, and as well it just helps to remove any manufacturing residue that might be on the surface of the stamp. So now I'm stamping up for real, if you like. I'm just going to centralise that in the middle of the square. We've got 4 of these squares and I'm just using one at the moment. Firm even pressure all over. You can see we've stamped that absolutely beautifully onto there. I'm going to leave that to one side. I'm going to bring in my Load and Fold. So these are stamping platforms that have got a hinge system. You've got a well in one side and you've got a grid on the other that doesn't have a well on that side. There's lots of different ways you can use them. Some people will use them this way, you might want to use it that way. You know, you can rotate it whatever way you'd like, sort of your personal preference. So what I tend to do is I tend to have my cardstock in the side with the well and my stamp on the other side. And I'm going to use this lovely leaf stamp. So I'm going to stamp 2 squares at a time. So lay your stamp over the top with your raised stamp surface facing down onto your cardstock. So close, Load and Fold and press down to pick up the stamp. Now occasionally you will also pick up your piece of cardstock, that's no issue whatsoever. You can tape your cardstock into place if you would like. In this instance I'm not going to, just for speed. Now it's good to have the area with the stamp on while you're inking up on a flat surface. That will just allow you to get a more even coat of ink onto there. So if it's sort of at an angle, you might find you don't ink it up quite as evenly as you'd like. And again, I'm using my black memento. This is a dye-based ink pad. The reason I'm using memento is because it's pretty fast drying. It's just going to allow me to crack on with my project a bit quicker rather than having to wait for something like VersaFine, a pigment-based ink pad, to dry. So laying that down, and I'm just going to stamp that out. So this is going to cover 2 of my squares in this all over pattern. Now I'm going to create quite a simple card now. So you can see I put one up, don't worry, just carefully lift it off. You can see we've got that gorgeous leaf pattern all over there. And I'm just going to do the same my third one. So as I say, I'm creating quite a simple card, just in black and white, but it's going to be very striking. I'm just going to let those stamps speak for themselves. So again, you don't need to do a lot with these stamps if you don't want to, but if you want to go to town, masking elements off, colouring them in by hand, you absolutely can. But if you are a new crafter, maybe you don't have a lot of inks, lots of different colouring mediums, then you can still work with this collection and create something absolutely stunning. So as you can see, I have actually got a little bit of ink into my load and fold. Don't worry, just get a baby wipe or a damp cloth, just wipe that off. It'll come off very easily as we have used Memento. If it does stain, don't worry, as long as it's clean and stained, that's fine. If it's mucky, you may get some of the ink transfer into your project. As long as it's clean, a stain on it is absolutely fine. And you will find that quite quickly it does become stained, as I know you'll be using your load and fold very regularly if you're anything like me. But don't worry, as long as it's clean, you're fine. So what I've got now is I've got 3 of my tiles with the leaf all over pattern, and I've got 1 with my sentiment, and I've got 4 slightly larger pieces of black card just as mats. So all I'm going to do, if I was at home, I would use a little bit more adhesive onto there. Just be careful, I've got mucky fingers. You don't want to transfer your ink on your fingers onto your project. Just be careful. I'm just going to add that into the centre of there to give us that black matte and layer. Now the black and white is very striking, and the black matte will draw the eye in to the image, and it will make that black stamping really, really pop. But of course you could have used any ink colour you like. Within the Rare Earth range we've got lots of different inks, lots of different types of inks. You know, you've got your reactions, you've got your blending inks, you've got lots and lots of different types of inks in lots of different colours. So definitely experiment. Perhaps use your embossing powders and use your heat embossing. Gold would look fantastic, it'll give a really opulent finish. So when you get these stamps home, just have a play, have a look what you've already got in your collection, and just see what you can create. Whether it be simple cards, whether it be very over the top lavish creations, you can do it all with this set. You really can. It's really fantastic, and as I say, it's got that nostalgic feel. It sort of evokes a lot of memories, which I think is really, really lovely. And I think when you give these cards, your recipients will have that same sort of feeling. They'll be thinking about, oh, do you remember when we played outside in the sun that day and we made mud pies? And it's just lovely to bring back those memories. So I've got a card blank here that I've just created. It's a white card blank. It's just under 6 inches by 6 inches square. And I'm just going to lay out my composition. So as always, lay out your composition before you actually stick it down, just to make sure that all of my panels are central and even. And I've got some 2mm foam tape on the back, just to give us that bit of lift and to lift these panels from the card blank and make them really, really stand out. Just peeling the back off and position these in this sort of grid formation. Now I really like this layout. I use this quite a lot, I have to say. It's just brilliant for building up quite quick cards, quite simple cards, but they do have quite a stunning, eye-catching look to them. And of course you could have done this same technique with any of the background stamps within the collection, so it would have worked really nicely with the water ripple stamp as well. And just the final one onto there to create that really, really striking, eye-catching card. Now you could have matte and laid that up a bit more if you like, you could have used pattern papers, but just taking it really back to basics, showing you that you don't have to use coloured inks, you don't have to use coloured card, just 2 colours of card, 1 ink and 2 of the stamps within the collection, just creating a really simple card. So definitely check out our Rare Earth Bottom of the Garden collection on crafting.co.uk. You'll find there's so much within that collection, so many ideas that you will be having with that collection. I think you'll really enjoy working with it.